I'm going to show you how to make flatbread faster than it would take you to drive to the store and buy it, which you will never do again after you have homemade flatbread. It's that good. Let me show you how easy it is. 30 minutes start to finish. Okay, we're going to start with a mixer. Makes the job much easier. We're going to use 1 1/4 cups of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. You can use bread flour if you want. We're going to use yeast. Now let me tell you about the yeast. I'm using active dry yeast, but you can use either one. You can use the active dry or the instant yeast like that. Just make sure you know the temperature. When you use active dry, it's 110 degrees. This one's 120. So I'm going to use this one today. So it's 1 teaspoon of yeast. It's a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and a 1/2 cup of warm water. So I checked it. It's good to use an instant read thermometer if you have one to make sure that the water temperature is right. So we'll get this going and add the water. And we're going to mix it like that for 1 minute, and we'll start shaping the bread. All right, as you can see, it's become kind of a nice little ball of dough, almost. It's going to be a little sticky, but that's good. So we're going to take it out. And what this did, it mixed it and it also kind of kneaded it. So we're going to put it on a well-floured board. I set my board up already. And just kind of shape it into a little ball like that. Get it smoothed out a little bit. And now we're going to cover this and let it rest for 10 minutes. So there. That's it. So after a 10-minute rest, the first thing you're going to do is to preheat a cast iron pan, pretty hot to medium high. So we're going to start that preheating. And while it's heating, we're going to start to shape these breads. So see, it's kind of puffed up a little bit after a 10-minute rest. So now the first thing we're going to do is cut this into 4. This is going to make 4 flatbreads. Okay? So we cut it into 4 like this, and then like that. And each one gets shaped into a ball. So this is the way I kind of go, you know, there's like a drier part on the top, so you just kind of shape it like that. If it's sticky, you just dip it in flour. And so there is one. And keep everything floured, so put it on a floured surface. There's one. You just want to get it round enough so it can get rolled into a ball. So there's 4 of them right there. Now we're going to flour this surface really well. And put a little bit over here. I'm going to set these aside. And we're just going to roll them into, I don't know, about a 6-inch circle. Okay? So I usually press it down to get it started. Get my rolling pin. And you just roll. There's no secret way to roll. You just, whatever it takes to get it flat. I like to do all of them before we start to cook because they cook so fast. So there. There's one right there. We're going to do 3 more of these. I just kind of set them aside while I do the others. Okay, here's the last one. Now you don't roll them quite as thin as when you make tortillas, so you want to have a little bit of thickness. So there's the last one ready to go. And if you're not sure, you can test your pan to make sure it's hot enough by just sprinkling a few drops of water on it. You get that sizzle, you know it's hot enough. Okay, so now watch how quickly they cook. Here's the first one. On an ungreased pan, right there. Now you're going to be able to flip it and check it. You can use a spatula like this, or you can use tongs, whichever you have, whichever is easier. So if you watch as it starts to cook, it gets little bubbles like that, and the bubbles will get bigger and bigger. They'll start to puff up a little bit, and then we're going to flip it over. It's about 1 minute per side. All right, see, the bubbles are starting to get bigger. It's been about, I don't know, 40 seconds. And you can check the bottom because you never know how hot. Look at that, how beautiful. Look. That's it. That's flatbread right there. 1 minute per side and it's done. There's no rule about how many times you can flip it over or not. It doesn't matter. It's just bread, you know. See? That's what naan looks like. You know, naan is flatbread. This flatbreads really date back centuries. I mean, every culture has been making flatbread. This looks about done. So, all right. So you put them on a plate, and if you're going to serve them right away, you can just put this same towel on to keep them warm. So I'll keep it warm, and take the next one. There it goes. See how, look at this one, how beautifully it's bubbling up like that. I think the longer you let the dough rest, the more you get pockets inside like that, and then you have those pita pockets, you know. But look how beautiful. That's perfect. There. See, here's another one now. This is, see? You can get it as brown as you like, but this is perfect right here. But what happens sometimes too is the flour that's on the, from rolling them, gets in the pan and it can burn. So just carefully grab a paper towel and just wipe out that flour so it doesn't burn. Okay, here's the last one. And I noted if your flour burns a little bit in the pan, take a look at these from rolling and just brush off the flour. Just brush it off and it won't land in the pan. Okay, here's the last one. Look at these, how beautiful. All right, so here you have 4 freshly made, still warm flatbreads. You can do anything with flatbread. You can make a quick pizza out of them. You can make a Greek hero. You can wrap like a tuna sandwich in it. Anything you like, you can wrap in a flatbread. I'd like to wrap our pool boy up in a flatbread, but he said no.